to the MMA Fan Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Stu and Blake.
Hello and welcome to the MMA Fan Show. I am Blake Harrison. Joining me as always is Stuart Fenn. How are you, mate?
Mate? I'm good, mate. You all right?
I'm very good, very good. And we're joined by a very special guest. We've got a fantastic interview on our hands today with Shem Rock.
Yes, the boys. I want an intro like what Stuart got there, lad.
What's
Say
that?
that again.
I want an intro like Stuart got there, lad.
All right, hang on. We'll rewind that. So, and joining us today is Shem.
Here we go, lad.
Is that good for you?
Yeah, man.
That's how you're going to be introduced from now on when you're over in Octagon. I think they'll pick that up. That'll be a good one.
Well,
Right,
look,
mate.
we've got so much we want to talk to you about. We want to talk about your life and I mean, we reached out to our mate Brian Lacey, and he sent us some info over. We've done a real deep dive on you, and it's a fascinating story that we're going to really dig into. But before we get into any of that, he did then, after he sent us kind of, some links to watch some stuff on your life, which was, really heavy at times. And then he sent one last message just saying, that dude takes his own pillow wherever he goes. Is that true?
Brian Lacey, man, he's putting me in it, isn't he? Yeah, lad, whenever I travel anyway, I bring my own pillow with me.
Is it so? All right, because I might actually do a similar thing to this. Is it a special kind of pillow for your neck or anything like that?
It's not like a comfort thing, and I've got to smell my own pillow or something. it's lad, I need that pillow to have a good night's sleep. I've had this memory foam pillow. Obviously not the exact same one, but the same brand for a good 10 years now. And now when I go to hotels and, because I travel to fight all the time, lad, I'm sleeping on these pillows, lad, and I'm waking up in the morning
Yep.
I don't know, is it because I'm over 30 now, lad? But I just can't be dealing with it, lad. I need my own pillow now everywhere I go.
I can't take the mick out of you for that at all, because whenever I've gone away, I was just filming in Australia for a while, the pillow was in the suitcase. Because otherwise I'll wake up with bad neck and all that stuff. Yeah, I think unfortunately it is getting older. You are getting...
You know what it is, Blake? Stu won't understand it because he's a little bit short and that way. We got the long neck and that to get me.
Yeah, that's it. That's
unbelievable. You boys need to wind your necks in. I'm 52. I'm the one that should have a memory foam bed and pillow and stuff like that.
Right. Well, Shem, we want to know obviously about your MMA career and your thoughts on kind of MMA in general at the moment, but you've just had such a fascinating life that led you to martial arts. And we kind of want to start at the beginning, if that's okay, and just sort of tell us to begin with, where it is that you grew up and what your childhood was like.
Fucking hell. I grew up Liverpool, Toxteth. That's where it first started. Mum and dad both together. Wouldn't say I had a normal household. Definitely never had a normal household. Was always out on the streets, up to no good, kicking around with the lads from young, lad, from very young. Some point, mum and dad split up. I ended up with my mum. My mum raised three of us by herself. We ended up moving all around different parts of the country. I've lived in other countries as well growing up. So we've had it a bit rough. One of them, new house every 3 to 4, 5, 6 months. It wasn't until I was about 16, 15 that I was in one place, in one city. And then it wasn't until 18, 19 that I actually left the country, and people who know me, seen the story, moved out to Asia, done 8, 9 years in Asia, 10 years away from home. And it was while I was in Asia where I first ever had my first experience with martial arts at the age of 21, 22. I think I was just turning 22. So I'm a late bloomer in the sport, found it a bit late, but bit of a crazy path to get to where I was to fight martial arts, but I do think that it kind of happened for a reason for me.
It's
If I would have found it in Liverpool, I don't think I could have paid it the attention I did when I was in Asia with no distractions, don't know no one, got nothing else to do other than train. And I was one of them, lad, when I found it, I just knew straight away, like, this is for me, this. I went from trying it on my first day to coming in the next day twice a day to coming in the day after 3 times a day, and then that never stopped for the next... No.
it's interesting when we talk to fighters and when we've interviewed fighters, we were always kind of asked the question, like, way before mixed martial arts had entered into your life, as a young lad, was you comfortable with confrontation?
Yeah, I was a little bastard, me, lad. So, do you know what I honestly think? And it's a crazy connection. I think my first ever experience with actually liking martial arts without knowing it was growing up watching wrestling. Because we
What, like WWE stuff?
yeah, lad, yeah.
Yeah.
We in the morning, you could watch it at 9 in the morning, you know, the fucking, on the weekends.
Yeah.
So all the cousins would get together. We'd all drag the mattresses while my mum and dad was asleep and put them in the living room. And we'd all just knock the fuck out of each other, lad. And I was the smallest, I was the youngest, I was the malviest. So I'd get filled in the most, and I was the one who'd ruin it and go and snitch as well and go, Mum, I'm bleeding again. Oh.
Oh, that's funny. Me and my brother did the same. We were super into it. And then, like, if my mum went out for the night or something like that, we'd be like, right, get the mattresses down from the bucket, bump, 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 bump down the stairs, in the living room, jumping off, swanton bomb, all that stuff. We'd be loving it. Absolutely loving it.
I think if it weren't for them days, maybe I wouldn't have loved the jiu-jitsu avenue, because I remember first doing jiu-jitsu and being like, wow, I wish I found this when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You're talking about, like, moving from city to city and stuff.
Yeah.
How tough is that, and how difficult is that? Because I imagine, like, you know, you probably make friends, lose them because you move, make friends, lose you. Like, how difficult was that mentally, and how do you think that affected you as a youngster, but also now that kind of disruptive kind of lifestyle of having to move all the time?
When I talk about probably like the worst times in my childhood, I'd probably say it was then.
Yeah.
I think I moved to London when I was 12. Went to about 8 different schools in London. Lived in hostels. Me, my mum and my 2 brothers would move hostels all the time, would move house all the time. And I can just remember that time, like, I just used to fight every day, lad. I just used to get in fights every single day. Because I'm a Scouser, because I'm a fucking... I don't chill with the black crowd because I'm not black. I don't chill with the white crowd because I'm not white. I'm mixed race, so I was always the odd one out. And I obviously had the accent, and I was a cheeky little bastard, lad. So I just used to get filled in every day or have a fight every day. And then it come to a point when I'm like, don't know, must have been about 13. I just said, I'm just not going to school anymore. And I literally, from the age of 13, used to just go missing for months on end and just go back to Liverpool, lad, and just be in Liverpool by myself and just up to no good. I think kind of at that time, you couldn't have told me no better, because I just used to look at the school teachers and just think, why am I listening to him, mate? But he pulls up to school in this fucking shit-all Vauxhall Astra, lad. He's fucking, like, I was in the worst of the worst schools, lad, so you know what the teachers are like. They're not, they don't care, lad, innit? Like, I'm going outside, they're like, yeah, whatever, go away, lad. Just don't, like, disrupt me class. So I never really had, like, I wouldn't say that, like, real male role model who'd be like, I'd look at him and be like, I want to be like him, me. The only time I did have that was when I'm on the streets and I can see the boys with the big cars, the boys with the big watches. And I'm going, lad, he's flying him. That's going to be me when I'm older. So they were my, like, other than maybe watching footballers grow up, like Robbie Fowler, Steven Gerrard, who you could see, like, from my area, from my, like, wow, they're like me. Other than guys like that, I had no one I could look to. Like, there was no big MMA fighter from Liverpool. There was no one around me that I could look at and go, I'm going to be like him, me. So for me, it was road. And I just wanted to be like my dad, his mates, fucking the roadmen around me. They were my role models growing up, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
And
that,
it's such a horrible situation to be in when you don't have those role models, and the only pathways that seem accessible to you are ones that are, you know, when you look back on them, they weren't necessarily the right path to go down. But at that time, you were like, well, what other paths are there? And
Yeah.
so can you talk to us a little bit about the situation that led you to then having to leave the UK and you find yourself in Asia?
You'd welcome what? I must have been about 19. I'm 31 now, so time's flew, lad.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, back then times, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm up to no good. But it's funny how everything that led me to leave come about from a crime that I didn't commit. So I just look at life in a bit of a mad way sometimes. Like, that's just sometimes how shit is, innit? Like, that's how it goes. Me cousin, he got arrested, and while he was in jail, he rang me from jail and was like, "Lad, I'm in jail. I'm wanted for this." And I'm like, "Wow, no way, that's mad." Little did I know, the guy who got him arrested also threw my name in, even though I weren't there. Obviously, I understand it now that I'm older. I'm still on road, innit? So he thinks if he has to bump into me, it's the same altercation, even though it's a different guy. So I found out later down the line, I got arrested for another crime. And while I got arrested, they brought up them charges. They give me bail. And when they give me bail, my solicitors rang me up and said, the police have just give you bail. And this is while I'm at home now. The police have just give you bail, but they've made a mistake. You need to come back to the police station. They're going to remand you into custody. And lad, I'm 18, 19. No faith in the police. No faith in the system. Being in and out of hospitals all my life. Being harassed by police all my life. And I just thought, lad, there's no way I'm going to jail for a crime that I haven't committed. Even if I go get her not guilty, I still got to spend time. And I was like, and I don't have faith in these ever giving me a not guilty. So I fled the country. Got the Eurostar to France, from France, flew to Thailand, spent some time in Thailand, and then eventually moved on from Thailand and went to Malaysia. Like I said before, I done 8-9 years out there, but I never thought that I'd last more than 3 weeks when I first left.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, yeah, these are gonna have to come and get me, lad. I'm not just fucking going to jail for something I haven't done. But it was while I was out there. Obviously, at first you're on holiday, everything's fun, you're having a laugh. When I'm by myself, I don't know no one. So at some point, the novelty of holiday wears off, and it becomes you just live here now. So now I just live here and I don't really know anyone, so I've got nothing to do. So one day I just walked down the street and I just seen this sign. It said Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I just went in and tried it, lad. And that's where I met my first ever coach, Bruno Barbosa. I got absolutely twisted up on my first day because I thought I was 10 men. I got battered by everyone, lad, by kids, everything. And then, I just knew on me, on my first ever day, lad, when you just go home and you're just sitting, waiting to jump in the shower, and I'm just sitting there, I'm just knew, like, I didn't know that was possible. Someone could do them things to me. I don't know what that was, but I need to be able to do that to other people. And then I think I just had the bug. I think if I would have went in there and been really good at it, I probably would have never went back. Because I've always been good at sports, football, this, that, whatever I just tried, I was better than the average man. Where this, you can't just come in and be good at jiu-jitsu because you got to learn the technique. There's knowledge to it. It's like knowing a language. You can't just go in the first day and speak Spanish. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think not knowing made me want to learn it and apply myself. And yeah, I just showed up every day, 3 times a day. Before you know it, I was competing. My coach forced me to compete. I didn't even want to compete. I went to my first jiu-jitsu tournament, finished every fight with the same armbar. And before you know it, I'm come off the mat. I'm like, when's the next one, Bruno? So now I'm just competing all over Southeast Asia. I got to go to the Worlds, represent Great Britain. I got to do super fights against black belts when I was a blue belt on ADCC. Then I ended up going on TV shows, fighting MMA. I got to fight on a MMA show for one championship, got signed to one, got released. It was just, lad, it was just a crazy journey. I got to fight in Taiwan against the former UFC athletes. Like, I was just doing all these mad things that when I'm speaking to my mates back home who were still living that life, they're like, lad, what are you doing, bro? What do you mean you're going to be a wrestler, lad? What do you mean, lad? You're going to be a fighter? What do you wear your undies and that when you fight? You know, just saying all mad shit. Man is saying, lad, just come home and do your jail, bro. Just come home and get back to what you were doing already, bro. You're not making no money out there. You'll never get to the UFC. You'll never be a big fighter. And I don't know, bro. I just was training every day, and I got to train with some big athletes in Asia, UFC athletes, and I just started to think, like, as the ball was rolling, like, lad, this is made for me, this. I just knew, lad, someone was just telling me, like, I'm going to be in the UFC, or I'm going to be the next big thing. So then I just started voicing it, lad, and just believed it, lad, and I think that just took me to a whole nother level.
It's such a crazy thing that, like, you know, I think we've been doing these interviews for a while now, Stu. I can't remember a set of crazier circumstances that has led someone to martial arts. Like, it's so, you know, you wanted for something you didn't do. You leave the country, you end up in Asia. I mean, how are you even, like, as you say, you're not making much money. How are you supporting yourself? How are you finding somewhere to live out there? I'm assuming, was the language a problem? Like, stuff like, how was that as a young man that's had the experiences you had up until that point, to then go to a completely different culture? I'm assuming you hadn't been to Asia before, but like to experience a completely different culture and be like, this is now my life. Like that, how did you navigate that?
Do you know what? If you can survive in Liverpool, you can survive anywhere. And I realized that. I realized that very, very quick when I got there. When I'm in Liverpool, I feel like this is what kind of made me grow up real quick over there. When I'm in Liverpool, if I walk down the street, trackied up, hoodie up, this is back then, obviously, I'm a kid. The woman walks down the street, sees me. She crosses the road because she thinks I'm a scally. She thinks I don't want to walk past him. He might rob me handbag. When I'm landing in Malaysia, I still think that's how people still view me. But now when I tell people, yo, where are you from? And they go, oh, I'm from Liverpool. And they go, oh, England. Lad, people view me completely differently to how I used to view myself. I used to think like I'm a scally. I'm a scumbag. They don't want to know me. These people will never like me. Before you know it, lad, I'm on the mats with politicians, doctors, fucking royalties, daughters. And they're coming up to me like, wow, you're from England. Wow, Harry Potter, the Queen. Wow, we're so honoured to have you here. So, lad, before you know it, I'm like, hold on a minute. This privilege shit works over here. This is nice. So, lad, before you know it, I've got sponsors. I've got people who want to take me out for dinner every day. I've got people who want to pay me for PTs and learn techniques. Every gym in the country wants me to be a kids class coach or teach the fight team. So there was so many opportunities for me. I could literally have done anything I wanted, bro. I just felt like when you're out there, lad, if you've got the gift of the gab and you can blag it, lad, it's no problem for any scouser. But never for 1 second in my mind did me thought ever stray to thinking about making money. I only ever wanted to be a good fighter and the best I could be. So I was rather happy making the bare minimum and sleeping in the gym if it meant I could train 3 times in a day than teaching PTs and living like a king or going with some rich guy. And like I didn't really care about nothing else. So when I first got there, I had a little bit of savings to survive off, to stay on my feet. My brother was over there for a bit as well, so I was with my brother. But then eventually, once I was 2 years in, lad, I was just on my feet then, and I just navigated like I was back home. Right?
Shem, can I ask you, you know, just hearing your story to date, before we get to you coming back to the UK and so forth, your teammate Paddy has been a big advocate for speaking up about mental health. Yeah. All of the stuff that you've gone through, then finding yourself, you know, on the run in a strange country, you know, not knowing anyone, you know, how, and the way that you said you wanted to be a fighter, you knew you wanted to be a fighter, you wanted to get to the UFC, you wanted to, you know, get to whatever organisation and be top of your game. you know, have you got, you know, real solid, you know, a real solid headspace, or, you know, surely there must have been moments where you're questioning everything, and like, and how do you sort of deal with that?
I think the hardest part of 10 years away is 10 years not seeing your family, especially leaving when you're 18. You know, you're a man, but you're not really, lad. I didn't feel like I was really a man till I was 23, 24, and then I realised, like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. But at 18, I still didn't have a clue. I'd never left England, really, lad, you know what I mean? And I thought Liverpool was the best place in the world. So there was times where, you know, I'm by myself and I need a handout or I need help, and I never got it. But this is also what I needed. I want to be strong. I want to be independent. I'm praying to God to ask fucking to make me strong, and then I'm getting a hard path to walk down. You don't realise till you get to the end of the path when you look back, like, oh no, that actually made me strong. I got what I asked for. I just never got it the way that I thought I'd get it. So this is another thing when I say, like, everything just happens for a reason. I'm glad that it happened. There was some hard nights, there was some rough nights, but eventually looking back, I wouldn't change it. So it is what it is, and sometimes you just need trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
There's something you said in your previous answer that I think's really interesting to think about, and it's talking about how you walk down the road in Malaysia dressed the same way as you would in the UK, but people just respond to you differently, and that makes you feel different. And it just reminds me of, like, you may find this a silly thing for me to say, but, like, when you're training as an actor, there's an acting exercise you do about giving someone else the character. Like, all these great actors you see, if they walk on and go, I'm this person, but no one else in the movie or the play treats them like that person, they're not that person.
Yeah.
And you do an acting exercise where, like, you know, you go out of a room, you walk back in, and you have to work out who you are by other people treating you a certain way. So you have to work out, oh, they're bowing to me, I'm the king, or, like, they're treating me like shit, I'm this, or whatever it is. And it's just a mad thing of, like, how we treat other human beings in our daily lives massively impacts them so much, and, like, how we see people, how we respond to the way someone looks, the way someone dresses, the way someone talks, anything like that can have such an impact on making that person feel a certain way or feel like they are worthless or worthy, and all those. And I don't know, I've not even got a question with this, Shem. It's just something you said that just made me think about it, and it's just something that, you know, we should all be just so considerate and take note of how we are impacting other people's lives just by the smallest things of crossing the road, as you said, and something like that, or being interested in someone's life. Like, I don't know, there's a thing that I thought of. No question there, I'm just rambling, but
Now I'm with you though.
yeah, as it makes a massive difference, doesn't it? And one of the things that you're out in Asia, you are doing really well in tournaments, as you said, and stuff like that, winning things. But then they found out that you were on the run, and they say that you couldn't come back to the gym. So then you were like, I've got to go back to Europe. So what happened there, and why did you end up in Dublin?
Basically, the gym I was at all throughout me career in Asia, because I only started with that gym. I never really wanted to train anywhere else. I was happy. Bruno, who started me, was like, he was like a real father figure and a role model. I think I probably would have just ended up staying there. So sometimes it was glad that they cut ties with me, because maybe I never would have cut ties with them, and maybe I wouldn't be who I am today and where I am today. So I don't stress over it. But the guy who owned the gym, when I got kicked out of one championship, because they found out, I've come back to the gym, and he basically told me, everyone in the gym fights in one championship. If you can't fight in one championship or a major organization, then we don't want you here no more. And he kicked me out of the gym, even though I'd probably been there for 8 years, 7 years now at this point. So then I had to go over to Thailand and do a camp in Thailand, because I already had a fight booked. I was fighting in Dubai on Prebellum. I ended up doing my camp in Thailand, training with Ben Royal in Phuket top team. I fought in Dubai, won my fight, got my first knockout in my career, And then after the fight, I had to come home. But now I'm coming home to no gym. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I don't know where I'm going to train. All I knew in my head is that after this time, I'm homesick. I want to come back to Europe. I want better fight opportunities. Every time I fight in Asia, I'm the bad guy. They bring me to lose. I shock the world. I beat the home crowd, boy. I don't really sell tickets like I would if I was back home. You know, that type of stuff. So I'm thinking, I think it's better for my career if I can just get to Europe. So I'm thinking, where's like Liverpool? But it's not Liverpool where I'll end up getting in trouble and getting arrested. And I thought, lad, it's Dublin, innit? Scousers, the Irish were the same. Yeah. So I just jumped on a flight to Dublin, lad. Didn't know anyone. Didn't know how I was going to survive. I just knew once I'm there, I'll find my feet and I'll start fighting. Arrived in Dublin. 2 days later was lockdown. So it was a nightmare. The whole world's locked down. Nothing's open. I don't know anyone in the country. And then the accommodation that I'm staying in give me my money back and kicked me out because of COVID, lad. So now,
oh my God.
So now it was even worse for me, bro. So luckily I had a few people help me. Someone put me up. I had somewhere to stay. Things just started opening up a little bit more to the point where people were training in secret. I've worked my way in. I'm start training now. I'm back training. And it was just kind of like that same shit keeps happening again now. I'm training in SPG and then I got kicked out of there because of obviously what's following me everywhere I go. And then I had another dilemma of nowhere to train. These are the times when I'm probably stressed the most because if you can't train, lad, your head half goes in it. So I'm like, I've come here to start a new life and start the career again. And now I've got nowhere to train. I don't know what I'm going to do. I only really come here to train at that gym. I don't know any other gyms.
Yeah.
But I ended up just falling into contact with Dublin Combat Academy, which is a Muay Thai gym. Training out of there with Collie and Craig. That's where I met Dennis Frimpong as well. And everything just kind of lined up perfect for me, lad. I'd done 2 years at a Dublin Combat Academy fighting MMA, even though it was a Muay Thai gym. I think it was good for me progression though, because I was a good grappler. Needed to work on my striking. So I got 2 years of nothing but striking. Got offered to fight for the title in Belfast, even though it's a risk. Went to Belfast.
Just to explain, it's a risk because obviously Belfast is UK territory and you're wanted in the UK.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm in Southern Ireland. The fight's in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland, even though they're connected by land, Northern Ireland is the UK territory. So as soon as I cross that border, if police stop me, it's a wrap for me and it's game over. So I went to Belfast, sneaked in, won the fight, sneaked out. I thought, yeah, calm, this is easy. I'll keep doing this, defend my belt. Went back to defend my belt. Fought my former teammate, Nathan Kelly. Lost the fight. Took my first ever loss on my record. The first time I seen my mum in 9 years. My mum come and watch me lose. And then I got arrested after the fight. So I didn't really get to see her like that.
As bad days go, that is like one of the words. Because did you get knocked out in that fight as well?
Yeah, I was still conscious, but yeah, I got knocked out in it.
You got TKO'd or whatever. Like,
yeah.
You lose. You haven't seen your mum for ages. She's seen you lose, and then you get arrested. It's heartbreaking. It's just what a bad day.
Yeah, it's just part of the journey, though, man. Like at the time, it's the worst place in the world, and you don't want to be nowhere else, and it's the worst feeling in the world. I'm on the back of the plane with the Matrix going to Liverpool. I'm remanded straight into custody. I land straight on the wing. My pad mate lands straight on the wing and he's like, oh, lad, are you scared? And my honest answer to him, nah, lad. I'm just sitting here still thinking about the fight. He doesn't know me that in that way, so I just said no to him. But in my head, I'm like, I believe I lost that fight. Like that's all I was thinking about I spent 6 months on remand. And every single day, I was just sitting there, even though like I've got this big court case going on and I've got to read the evidence every day and I've got to stay focused on getting out. Every day I was just thinking about fighting, lad, and getting back out and I'm going to fight again. And I'm gonna be in the UFC. Like I was telling man on the wing after they got to know me, lad, I'm gonna be in the UFC. And man,
Just on remand is like you're waiting for your day in court, but you're still in prison.
innocent till proven guilty, but you're still a prisoner. So
Yeah.
still gotta live like a prisoner. It's 23 hours and 30 minutes behind your door every single day. You get half an hour out.
Wow.
In your half an hour, you've got to shower, do your meals for the week, so you put them up on the kiosk, so then your meals come to you, so you get the right meals. And any other little bits you want to do, like speaking to officers, sorting stuff out, moving cells, moving wings, whatever. You got to do that in that half an hour. Because it was COVID, everyone was banged up. You never got a second social. You just got that 1.5 an hour. And even then, many a day they just come to your door and go, "Sorry lads, we haven't got enough officers because it's COVID. You aren't getting out." And that could happen 3-4 days in a row, lad, where you never got out to get a shower for 3 days, lad, and you're just stinking in your cell.
How do you? I mean, that sounds. I don't even have the words for that. The fact that you're not even allowed a shower and a wash for days on end because of that situation. How in a moment like that do you sort of stay mentally sane? Like I don't know that I don't think I'd be capable of getting through something like that. How is it that you approach that mentally?
I don't think we're 100% sane anyway, lad, before we went there, because of why are we getting punched in the face for money, lad?
It's a fair point.
You got to be
Fair
a
point.
fucked up guy anyway. So, you know what it was that kept me going? It was routine. The days that I never had routine and I just done whatever I felt like doing were the worst and hardest days. Oh, if I just want to lie in my bed all day, who's asked? If I just want to stay up all night and be on the phone, who's asked? They're the worst days. You wake up groggy, you feel depressed for yourself. The days where I had routine, which I'd say were 99% of the days, because I'm quite vigilant when I stick to something, they were the easiest days to get through. I wake up in the morning, I have to shadow box for 5 rounds. After shadow boxing for 5 rounds, then I can put the radio on. The radio's like a little treat. There's music playing. Then I do me push-ups, me dips, me weights. Then we get that out to go and get our shower. I get me shower. I do me kiosk. I go on the yard. I do me pull-ups on the yard. And I just broke it all down like that every day, where I had to do this. To get this, I need to do this. To have me first meal, I need to make sure I've done this. To have me first breakfast, I need to make sure I've done this. And then before you know it, you're not counting the hours in the day. You're counting the tasks in a day. So I'd be like, I need to do me pull-ups, and then I've got me dips, and then I've got to run on the yard, then I've got me shower, then I do me kiosk, and then I'm back in my pad then. So I'd kind of retaliate like that, rather than, oh, it's 9 more hours till we get off the pad. Oh, 9 hours? Oh, that feels like ages. Don't know. You've got nothing else to do. It's just you and one guy in a room, innit?
So you come out of prison and you then go back to Liverpool. Is that right?
My trial was in Liverpool, so I got the not guilty, and I walked out the door straight into the city centre of Liverpool, and I'm home for my first time in 10 years. All my family are there that I haven't seen for 10 years. It's good to see everyone. I'm happy. I go and see where all my family live now. I go and see how everything is. And I'd say it took me 3 days to be like, nothing's changed. I've come here and everyone's doing the same shit that they were doing before. Everyone that I know, the same people are selling the same thing. The same guys are living on the same street. And I just thought, I'm so glad, even though I had to do some madness, I'm so glad that I left and I'm in this position now. And the first thing I wanted to do was just go to the gym.
And that was NextGen.
I had no second guessing in my head of where I wanted to go first. I knew I wanted to walk straight into NextGen, train with Paddy, train with Molly, train with Nathan Fletcher, Adam Cullen, Liam Gitlect. I just knew. There was no... I also wanted to travel and train at other gyms, and because I'm a fan of the UK scene, I want to go, oh my God, Jay Herbert, oh my God, Leon Edwards. I still wanted to meet people and train, but I had no doubt in my mind that I wanted to go to that gym. And I went there, my first class on a Monday, we're training, and I can remember like I'm just going to the toilet and just being sick in between the rounds, lad. Where like I'm not fighting fit, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just coming out the toilet with a big smile on my face, lad. I was just happy to be on the mats. I was made up. Paddy was in America, but then eventually Paddy come back, and then I trained with Paddy as well. And I just knew like I don't need to be nowhere else. I'm home, innit?
Absolutely.
You mentioned like Paddy and Molly there. Is there anything that training with those guys, or maybe even anyone else at the gym, that has really stayed with you, like a lesson that you've learned from them?
The first thing I can remember, it was like a bit of a cultural shock, to be honest. Where I've had the old school Brazilian coach, and it's been in Asia. You have to wash your feet before you get on the mat. You have to bow in. You have to bow out. Don't speak while I'm speaking. You have to shake hands. You have to fix your posture. And then I've come to Liverpool, and it's just like, it's just the lads. When we train, we still train, you know what I mean? But there's no bowing in, there's no bowing out. You can speak. So at first I was like, wow, this blew me head off a bit. But then after a while, I actually think I preferred that style. It was a bit too rigid the other way.
Yeah, you prefer it being a bit more laid back and a bit more chilled out.
Yeah, you still got to have respect and morals and whatnot, but I prefer the laid out style.
I mean,
But
you
I can
mentioned
remember like the first thing where I looked at them and was like I don't know, I was like, yeah, that's what I need to be doing. Was the way they just do everything MMA. I've kind of always done boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, and then linked it all together in the classes. Here, everything's MMA. Everything is just for MMA. So when we're grappling, it's MMA with punches. When we're striking, it's with takedowns for MMA. Like everything is just MMA. And when I watch Paddy do jiu-jitsu, being a jiu-jitsu guy, some things I used to be like, why does he do that? Why is he doing it? But why doesn't he pass his guard? And then when you do the hours with him on the mat and you get to roll with him, and then you pick his brain, and we talk about concept differences between what I would have done and what he'd maybe do, then you realize like, no, he's actually sparring and training, breathing for MMA. Where sometimes maybe I'm a bit too jiu-jitsu orientated or a bit too striking orientated. But I think that was the big first lesson, what made me like change my mentality around them.
I mean, I'd love to know a little bit more about a day in NextGen, because you mentioned so many of the fighters that you knew was in that gym already, and I mean the impact that Paddy has not just made in Liverpool, but for the UK MMA scene is ridiculous. You know, he's a superstar now, and he's always been super kind and has come on the show multiple times, as has Molly. And so many of the other lads that you've mentioned there. I just want to ask you quickly, now that Molly's retired, is she still comes down the gym? She's still training?
Yeah, I've seen her a few times at the gym. Through the back end of my camp, she was there. Obviously, I've just fought, so I'm not there right now. So is she in there? Is she not in there? But it's probably not my place to say it. But I wish she never retired, man. I think she's like that last camp when I just seen her. I was like, this is the best she's looked. This is the best version of Molly I've seen. It was a tough fight. She had different opponents on the night.
Yeah.
The girl's a prospect. She's young. Like I would have just said, no, let's give her another one. But it's your own journey, and if you don't want to be in that cage, lad, you can't force someone to be in there. It's a hard night when you're in there, whether you win or lose. But I do think she's still got combat left in her. I think maybe she should go and do some misfit boxing or something, get the extra cash in. I'd love to see her punch up some YouTuber, to be honest. Like,
I mean, she would be a great addition to stuff. I don't really watch boxing in general. I certainly don't really watch like the Misfits boxing. But I can imagine someone like Molly being a great asset to an organization like that. As you say, fight some YouTuber or something. Molly, Molly's going to bring it at like a press conference, a weigh-in, all that stuff. She would be absolutely fantastic in that kind of realm. How would you matchmake for Paddy now? Because obviously we've seen that Ilya's fighting Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight strap. Islam's gone up. Paddy looks like he's one away from a title shot. And obviously, if Topuria wins, they've got so much history that would be an amazing fight to see the build up for and to see and all that stuff. What do you think's next for Paddy now? Is it someone like Justin Gaethje, or is it something like what do you think is next for Paddy?
I think there's one of two scenarios in my head. I think Islam goes up, fights JDM. Let's say he wins.
Yep.
He stays at welterweight or retires. Poirier fights Charles. He wins. Who does he get on the mic and call out, lad? Does he call out Islam or does he call out Paddy? Islam's gone up. He's going to call out Paddy. Bigger draw.
Do you think Paddy goes straight into a title shot? Wow.
Bigger draw. Sells more tickets. He's got the beef with Poirier. Poirier probably looks at Islam a bit more scared of that style as well. I think if Poirier wins and Islam wins, Paddy just gets slotted in for the next shot. Now, the question is, for the other scenario, if Paddy doesn't want to sit round and wait to see how it plays out, if Paddy doesn't want to sit round and wait, then I think the UFC give him a fight. And I think if the UFC give him a fight, it has to be Justin Gaethje. I think.
That would be some fight. Paddy Gaethje would be an incredible fight.
You beat Gaethje now, and it's like no one can ever say nothing.
No,
and it should have been that when he beat Chandler or he beat Ferguson, but you know how the sport is, lad, isn't it?
I know. I mean, I have to say, I mean, I am a big Paddy fan, but the Ferguson one, you're like, he was on a long losing streak, and for me, Michael Chandler, I didn't feel like Michael Chandler was the Chandler he was ages ago. But these are debates that people will have, aren't they? That is it. But I still think that Paddy fight, what he did against Chandler, shows that he's the best Paddy he's been. And he's a Paddy that we go, oh, shit, this guy could do it. Because the way, like, Oliveira beat Chandler, and I was like, yeah, but I'm not sure where Chandler is. He had that moment in the 5th round, whatever. But when Paddy beat Chandler, as much as I wasn't sure where Chandler was, it was the dominance. And he was just all over him. And it was just like Chandler was running away from him in the cage at points. You're like, that felt special. That felt special. I sort of wanted to see Paddy versus Oliveira, if I'm honest. That is a fight I really
wanted to
see.
Same. I want to see Paddy fight Charles. I just think it wouldn't be the fight that people expect. I think when two grapplers fight each other, people expect to see a grappling match. I don't think it'd be the fight what people expect. But I think stylistically, some of these guys are actually the easier matchup for Paddy.
You reckon? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Justin's a tough matchup. Obviously, if he gets on top of him, different story, but not many people get on top of Justin. So I think Justin's the one that you'd have a bit of a war with him. Look at like him and Max Holloway fight. It cements you like forever, lad. You skill set wise, no one can question you.
No, win over Gaethje, and that's it. You have to fight for the belt, next. And as you say, anyone that's doubting, if he beats Gaethje, you're like, that's done. There's no more doubt. No more doubt at all.
Shem, can I ask you a little bit about, I mean, to get back onto your career now, and you're over at Octagon.
Yeah.
What advantages currently, I mean, I don't know, we'll get on to where you see the next step for your career being, if it is at Octagon or if you're looking to other organisations. But currently, obviously, a lot of your teammates fighting Cage Warriors. You know, we've seen them, you know, causing absolute havoc over there. And there's so many exciting fighters. I mean, we've mentioned some. You haven't mentioned Luke Riley yet, and you know why that guy's not in the UFC yet. I have no idea. But what advantages do you see at Octagon that that has over Cage Warriors or the PFL?
Do you know what? I'm going to be dead honest and tell you, I didn't know who Octagon was when I first heard of Octagon. I didn't know much about them, but what I can say is the owner flew to Liverpool to come and meet me personally, come to my gym, watched me train, and you know when you just meet someone, lad, and you just I don't know, I just get a feeling me sometimes like, I think this is what I'm meant to do. This is the way I'm meant to go. And something just told me. I've always been the scouser who fought on mad shows outside the country. I've always been fighting the home crowd favourites. I've been the away guy. And I just thought, lad, this is just a different path. you know, it's still kind of a path to the UFC. Because at the time I'm thinking about the UFC. It's still but it's my own path. I'm not just following everyone else. I'm not just, we're 10 of us on the same show, which would be cool. I'd still enjoy that as well. I still want to, like, I've fought my whole career without ever fighting in Liverpool. But something was just calling me, lad, on this journey, lad. So I said, you know what? Let me go and see what Octagon is saying. It's a short contract. It's got time on it. It's got so many fights. If I don't like it, I can always come back. And I don't know. As soon as I went there, lad, it was just for me. The fans over there hate me. They all boo me. I'm the bad guy. They all like it was just instant chaos straight away, lad. And I just said, yeah, I think I need to spend more time here. Sometimes I feel like I'm coming to the end of it, and then sometimes I feel like I've got so much more to do. But it's just part of the crazy journey that I'm on, lad, and I'm just trying to embrace it and enjoy it every day, man.
But for other people
saying that-
like
Go
you
on, Stu.
that are not overly familiar with Octagon as an organisation, we should make it really clear that as far as Europe goes, these shows are huge. You know, we're talking massive arenas, and they are rammed. You know, we've watched multiple events over Octagon, and it is a huge organisation.
Me Octagon debut, I fought in front of, I think it was 18,000 people, and I can remember showing up to the arena, and it was an ice hockey stadium. I remember showing up to it and going like, "Fuck me, this place is massive." Lad, I've got inside. First fight on the prelim. I've said, I'm going to go out and just see the stadium. Because if that's the UFC or any of them, it's empty.
Yeah.
So the fighters can just walk around and not be harassed with your wraps on, whatever. Lad, I walked out and every seat was sat in.
Wow.
And I was like, what? First fight on the prelims? The gaff's full. So I was like, yeah, I'm going backstage. It's crazy. I don't know how they sell so many tickets. I don't know how they're so big over there. But I'm in awe. I'm actually thinking like it's something to be proud of as well for the promotion. Like we get off the plane in the airport and there's fans waiting for us to take pictures with us, and I'm like, who knows what day I'm flying in? So how's the fans here? They don't tell me they're staying here from Wednesday to Thursday. From Tuesday to Thursday, just waiting for fighters to fly in. Fucking, even when you're there, you ask people like, you're watching the UFC? They're like, the what? And I'm like, the MMA? And they're like, oh yeah, Octagon. They know Octagon, but some fans don't know the UFC, bro. It's their own region, lad, and they just smashed it and took it over. But what I can say is I'm definitely the guy who's brought it to this side. I think when you speak about the UK, you speak about maybe even Ireland as well. Like, people know Octagon because I'm here.
Absolutely.
And that experience of being in those big arenas will only serve you well if the plan is to get to the UFC. When you're there, those experiences will serve you so well, especially like being the bad guy to a lot of the fans out there and stuff in the arenas. You know, you'll have that mental strength and you'll have that experience of being in big arenas. You'll be like, this is nothing. You'll be walking out into arenas in Vegas or whatever going, I'm so used to this. This isn't a problem for me at all.
When I fought Piccone, I've come backstage after the fight, and Rimmer goes to me, "That's the biggest stadium we've ever cornered someone in. You've just broke a record there." And I was like, fuck off, was it? It was 30,000 people, bro. But in the moment, I'm just locked in. It's when afterwards it settles down a bit and you watch the videos back and you go like, wow, 30,000 people, man.
That's insane numbers,
Do
isn't
you
it?
think about like life after MMA? Like, you're nowhere near retiring, I know that, but like, obviously it is a short career, MMA. Do you ever think about it?
Want me to tell you something, lad? It's so long spent away from my family. All I ever wanted to do is come back and be with my family. Now I'm back. I don't even get to see no one, bro. I'm in the gym 3 times a day. I'm in the gym on New Year's, birthdays, funerals, weddings. Like, this is the life I've chose. I want to have a family. I want to have kids. I want to settle down. But I can't have a kid now and put him second to my career, because nothing in my life will come before fighting. no girl, no family member. And that's just the life I've chose. So at this time in my life now, I'm never thinking about the day I retire. I'm only thinking about fighting. And I'm sure there's something coming for me after retirement, but right now I'm riding it till the wheels fall off, lad. This is me.
Well, one thing you have spoken about that obviously you'd be great with is that thing of giving back to people in communities that have had upbringings a bit like what you had and stuff like that. And is the idea at some point, or even during your fight career maybe, to set up a gym, have somewhere where you can help young people that are currently in a similar situation to what you were in previously?
So I know I'm going to be successful. I just know, like, there's no doubt in my mind, whatever I'm going to achieve, it's because I want to achieve it. And I feel like as much as I want to give back and open a place, and I don't want it to be for money. I want it to be for the reason I opened it for, to serve the purpose of helping people. I don't want it to be a business. I don't want to end up running a gym and fucking be stressed out running a gym and it's for money. I want to give back and have a place for kids to come in, young adults, people in and out of jail, whatever, to try and change their life using martial arts the way it's helped me. Maybe it could help, even if it just helps one person, it's a success. But I also feel like in order for me to give the most I can give, I need to have the best career I can have. So maybe when I'm in, I don't know, I've got my last 3 years, my last 4 years, whenever that's going to be, when I'm 45 maybe.
Yeah.
Then I can start putting them things into plan. But I still want to give where I can now as well. I still want to help. I just think the world's in a different place now, man. You remember, like, when you was a kid, how many fucking youth clubs there was, how many... I don't even know what kids do no more, lad. What? Just sit in and play Fortnite?
Yeah.
The world's changed, bro. For the worse.
I agree.
When people talk about Shem Rock the fighter, how would you like to be described?
How you'd like to be described and how you're going to be described are two completely different things. I've understood very, very quick that Shem the fighter is almost a personified character that the fans don't know. They think they know, and they make judgments and they say things, and I just take it with a pinch of salt, because the Shem behind the scenes that people really know, they're the only kind of... that's the only criticism I take to heart when people judge me true character. The guy in the cage, people say, oh, he's disrespectful. Then some people say the opposite and say, oh, he's super humble. All I think to myself is, you don't even know me. You don't even know that guy. So whether they love me, whether they hate me, whether they say I'm a shit fighter, whether they say I'm a great fighter, I honestly couldn't care less. The only thing that I'm concerned about when I'm in there is that you tune in, you watch, I entertain, and that I win. So anything good, anything bad, that's on them.
Right. Shem, we are going to wrap this up soon because we know we've taken up a lot of your time, but I just want to ask you a few little fun MMA questions about fights that have been announced recently, get your opinions on them, if that's all right. So first one I'd love to ask is Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight belt. Who wins that fight, and do you have any thoughts on it?
I think Ilia's got the tools to win. Charles is a dog. Everyone knows that. He can pull it out the bag. But 65-70% Ilia Topuria, I think he stops him.
Yeah, I agree. What about Islam moving up to take on JDM? JDM looked great in the Bilal fight. So how do you see that one going?
I've got JDM, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
think it's
people
a
are going...
size thing, or is it a skill set thing?
I think it's a size thing. I think he's a true welterweight. Doesn't have to try and gain no weight now in a short period of time. I think Islam's very skilled, and if anyone can do it, it is Islam, or even Khabib before him, if anyone could have done it. But I think it's JDM's time. He's won, 17 in a row. He's on the street. He's confident. He's very good at stopping all the grapplers, but he can also box legit as fuck. I've got to go with JDM on this one.
Yeah. And what about Dricus versus Hamzat? That's the fight I'm actually most excited about. That's going to be a crazy fight. How do you think that goes?
The fight I'm most excited about as well, lad. I think Hamzat Chimaev is hands down the best 3-round fighter I've ever seen in my life. In 3 rounds, I don't see anyone ever beating him unless they can knock him out spark cold. Because first round, he is going to win. You can't stop him. He's going to win the first round because he'll blow his load to do it. Second round, he might be tired. Third round, he'll get a resurgence and then take the fight. Now, the problem is in a 5-round fight, innit? If Duplessis gets out of them first 3 rounds, I think you could maybe see him stop Hamzat, maybe even 10-8 in him in one of the rounds. But I am a betting man, and I will be betting on Hamzat to win. He's my favourite fighter to watch right now. I'm just you just can't bet against what guys when they're so dominant in there. I think he gets it done.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you who is your favourite fighter, and you're saying Hamzat. What makes him your favourite fighter?
If you were to ask me my favourite fighter of all time, it wouldn't be Hamzat. My favourite fighter to watch right now, obviously I'm biased as well, so I put Paddy in there. Yeah. But Hamzat, you know what it is, bro? I just love grappling. I love watching grapplers. I love how they can just nullify people and make them quit. And I feel like when you knock someone out, that wasn't a choice. When someone taps, they had a choice and they chose to quit. And I think he's just so good at breaking people, lad. You see what he done to Robert Whittaker, lad?
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I think he's almost an anomaly of the sport, lad. He's just a different guy. And I just love to watch him. The whole thing, running out, the hive, how fucking energetic he is, start quick. I just think it's one of the sickest styles in MMA.
Absolutely. And lastly, Shem, what's next for you? What's going to be happening, mate?
This is a tough question. Obviously, I've just had that last fight on 6 days' notice, so it was a bit of a mad one. Went through 3 opponents. After the fight, I've only got a few months left on my contract, so my contract's coming to an end. I'm about to be a free agent. I still haven't really had the conversation with my manager. I need to sit down with my manager and see what's next, but there's no official offers on the table from anyone, so if I'd be saying anything, I'd just be pulling it out the air. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen next, but all I know, it's up from here. I'm constantly winning. I'm fucking looking good when I'm in there. I'm improving every fight. So whatever's next, it'll just be bigger than the last one.
Absolutely.
Get Paddy to text Dana and to say, "Come on, mate. Come on, mate. Come on, Paddy. Do us a favour. Drop the big man a text." Look, it's been so great having you on the show, Shem. I do want to ask you one last thing, because I think you might have an interesting perspective on this, if that's all right. Because in the industry that I'm in, a lot of people look down on MMA. They they still see it as like this kind of barbaric thing, even though some of them still watch boxing, which always boggles my mind. But what I would say is, if you are talking to someone that does look down on MMA, thinks it shouldn't be allowed or anything like that, when you've had the experience you've had where MMA and martial arts in general has completely turned your life around, what's the message that you would give to those people that clearly don't understand the positive impact that MMA can have on people's lives? What would you say to them?
Do you remember when I said there's no more youth clubs anymore?
Yeah.
MMA gyms are the new youth clubs. You see all of the kids growing up who don't leave the house, who just want to play on the computer games. Well, when they're not playing computer games, they're watching us fight. They're watching us do interviews. They're watching us speak. And they're looking at us and going, wow, I want to be like that. So it's our duty to try and be a good, positive role model for these kids and put them in the right path, rather than these same kids could have been on the street doing something bad instead of doing something positive. If you also want to talk about the sport, MMA fighters take less brain trauma than boxers. So you're happy to promote boxing, but these guys have worse cases of CTE. These guys take worse damage. When they get stopped, the referee counts to 10, and if he can fight on, he gets back in. When we get stopped, the referee jumps in and it's over. We can grapple. We take much less brain trauma. So in terms of health, our sport's healthier. Now, it's crazy because I've seen it firsthand, lad. You don't realise who's watching, but as my career's gotten bigger, I see all the kids in the gym and I'm like, sometimes I see the one kid and I go, lad, that kid is me. Like, if he weren't in here, he'd be reckless. So this is what he needs. The discipline side of it, the respect, learning how to defend yourself. People who go out there and start fights, it's not people who know how to fight. It's people who don't know how to fight. As soon as you learn how to fight and how to carry yourself, you kind of learn how dangerous it is and how dangerous it is that you could be on the wrong end of it. I think everyone should send their kids to a jiu-jitsu gym, to an MMA gym. Like, your kid doesn't have to get hit. There's parts of the art form, like grappling, where you take no damage whatsoever, but you still learn a skill, you still learn respect, you still learn how to defend yourself. I think even more importantly for women, I think if you've got a daughter, you should be sending your daughter to jiu-jitsu. And the people who have got the misconception of what MMA is, they're just miseducated. So all that I need to think is it's our job to now educate the people going forward. And if I can educate 10 people on my career, lad, then great. If I can educate 1 million, even better. So get to know. If your kid ain't in MMA, fix up.
Mate, that was a fantastic answer. Thanks very much.
Absolutely. Shem, we wish you all the best in wherever your career's going, mate. It's been an absolute privilege hearing your story today, mate. Thank you so much for giving up your time, brother.
Thank you, lads.
Right. We're going to press stop, but don't go anywhere.